It's something I can't get recover of. She was my best friend. We were close. So every day I will tell myself, I wish you were here. Every day. Sometimes one can't express my feelings. That she no longer here with us.
A mother's pain, still as fresh as the day when one of the country's worst mass casualty incidents occurred. January 12, 2025 marks 10 years since a bus carrying mostly students lost control and plunged into the sea at Rock Gutter. It was a difficult time for the North Windward community and the country as a whole, as Vincentians mourned the loss of 7 students: Anik Alexander, Raquel Ashton, Jamal and Jamarly Edwards, and Glenroy Michael. For the families of Simonique Ballantyne and Chanstacia Stay, the healing journey over the last decade has been a difficult one, as the bodies of the Georgetown Secondary and the North Union Secondary students were never recovered.
Yes, I am one of the parents from the two that would have our children still missing. Chances Stay, whose mother is Nelson Stay and is presently here tonight with us. She is also missing, and of course, you know how difficult that can be. More difficult it can be when you do not have closure. Um, One of the areas that I see whenever it comes around is sometimes when they call Guy Fawkes Night, or when their birthday comes around, or a special occasion where we need to go at least to somewhere to actually say, okay, we would have last taken them to this area. That is one of the most difficult time for me. When I realize other parents, okay, can still go to the graveside and take a wreath or plant a flower. Most left for us to do is to come to the last place that they would have met their demise, which is where we are this evening. Over the years, when we just had the tragedy, of course, as parents, we would have grieved differently. If I recall well, 3 consecutive years, we would have met and had several memorials. Having done that, the parents who would have kept together as a family, as brothers and sisters, because this tragedy, although we would have suffered loss, it would have brought us closer. It would have united us. We would have recognized that despite these challenges, we have to stick together in an effort for us to survive, for our siblings, those of us who had siblings. And having done those years of memorial together, we decided to hold and mourn differently. Of course, we respect each other's opinion, and as I said before, we all grieve differently. And we decided a few years ago, when the 10 years do arrive, we will do a vigil on the Saturday night, and of course, a memorial service on the 12th. Simonique was a special daughter. She was a special child. Simonique loved netball. She loved to clean. She was basically our small chef at home. I recall the December, just before she passed, Simonique actually baked the December for us and her aunt Shelley. Shelley was also in the accident. And I must take this opportunity to encourage the survivors of this accident also to, although I'm not a Christian, but I'm a God-fearing person, it has to be the Almighty who kept them alive today, and it must also be for some reason. I'm so happy, even though I'm sad, for the turnout this evening. It shows that we as a community, we as a people, we as a country, there's still so much love among us. And I want to thank all those persons who would have contributed one way or another to offer their love, their support to us, the deceased family. As I told the other deceased parents recently in a chat, with time, things could heal. And of course, we have to learn to have this forgiveness of heart. When this tragedy happened, I remember and recall, of course, you will have all kind of feelings. You know, you will have the odd feelings, you will have this feelings against person who you believe might be responsible for certain things. But of course, we have to remember that one person have everything in their hand, has everything into their hands, is the Almighty. And to him, we give the glory.
There is a saying, grief divided is made lighter. The community of Fancy is testament to this, as scores of people came out on Saturday night for a candlelight vigil as part of the activities for the 10th anniversary of the rock gutter tragedy. Friends, family, and survivors of the crash made the hour-long walk, some singing, dancing, and others crying, even those who were too young to remember the day of the fatal accident. While some family members were still too shaken to speak, they offered support to other grieving relatives.
She will always live in my heart forever. And she was the joy of my life, the pride of my heart, and the joy of my life. And I always sing a one with every place back home. I love my children then. I love them from my heart. And every day, I love my son. Every day he said, "Mommy, we love you." And this one, every year, it just be memories reflecting because she pictured everything. It was a lot to grieve with because every time the year come wrong, I will always remember her and I will just cry.
She was the baby, and me and her were very close because my big sister was a bit mean, so she would come to me with every little thing she had going on. So she was more boy. She was a tomboy until she got to secondary school. When she hit Form 1, my mom had dreadlocks her hair because they wasn't growing at all, and having them in dreadlocks and twisting them, they started growing or looking as if they were growing. So when she hit Form 1 for secondary school, she came to me and she said like this. But she had just come back from visiting her father in Canada, and she said to me, if I can straighten her hair. And I say, but I can straighten her hair without mommy permission. And she said, my daddy give me the money to buy everything, and I asked him already, so you go straighten my hair for me. And I remember going to town, taking her with me and purchasing the straightener and everything, treatment, everything for her hair. I just want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting, because this as a whole is bringing us together as a community. You know, some of the people here tonight, they don't even live in Fancy, and they just came out to support because it was a very, very tragic day. Still to this day, but we coping. I know this is something my mom would have wanted because she passed. So for me and my sister to be able to come out and show full support on behalf of our mom, it feels really refreshing.
As another year passes, family and friends of the deceased children say they will continue to put one foot in front of the other, living their lives to the fullest. In memory of the Rock Gutter 7. Christina Smith, Searchlight News.